Hello friends and welcome back to Amir's Allotment. I'm in the warm indoors today because it is really wet out there and miserable, so I'm not going to be over at the allotment plot, but I have got lots of footage to show you of my allotment, and let's do a July tour. So let's show you that now and then I'll catch up with you shortly afterwards. Hello friends and welcome back to Amir's Allotment. With all the rain that we've had recently, everything is just looking really lush, including all the weeds. But as you can see here, the gladioli are really putting on a show. So let's start the end of July tour of the allotment. Starting off at the entrance of the plot, and yeah, where the strawberries are and the raspberries, they've both gone over now, and here we then start with the tomatoes, and these tomatoes are a beefsteak variety and they're called Constelluto de Parma. Just show you some of them. I think we've got a few on this plant already, and here they are. So they're doing really well. Obviously they're not growing as fast as the ones in the greenhouse, which is to be expected, but we're still getting some nice fruits on these. And yeah, I do need to take the suckers off these, but yeah, they're doing really well. And then next to them we've got my favorite. These are dwarf French beans, and these are actually ready. Some of these are definitely ready to harvest. There's loads in here, as you can see. So yeah, I'll be taking a harvest from these today. So they're just a dwarf variety, yellow French bean, really tasty. Some giant sunflowers here, and then we've got our dwarf sunflower bed across here. Let's give you an update on the watermelon that's growing outside. Well, look, it's growing loads. So what I just try and do is sometimes just move these tendrils a little bit, just to make sure that it's all growing in the right direction. There's a tiny little fruit appearing there, and yeah, I can see one on the other plant as well. So yeah, it is growing well here, and this plant too is now catching up with the other one. Here, look, you can see tiny fruits appearing. So yeah, so the sugar baby that's planted outside is doing well. I mean, yeah, compared to last time, you can see it's put on quite a bit of size. And over here is our sunflower bed, and honestly it is covered in sunflowers. So I need to get in here and deadhead, but what I do is I sometimes leave some of these on for the birds, because I like allowing the birds to come and have a good feed as well. So yeah, this is our dwarf sunflower bed, and look, lots and lots of sunflowers to come, and we've already had a lovely display. Let me actually show you this one this year. It's one of my favorites. There's a bumblebee in there having a feed, but yeah, a white sunflower. These have been amazing this year. I preferred these outside on the plot. They seem to do really well, but as cut flowers they don't open as much as this, so yeah, they seem to be better outside, but the others have been fantastic. So yeah, lots of sunflowers. We've got courgettes that I have been harvesting. This is our tomato bed. I need to come out here and give it a really good weed, but as you can see, Mrs. Sparrowhawk has been back, and I say Mrs. Sparrowhawk because she takes the pigeons. I mean, like, you can see here where she's probably landed with the pigeon, and there's been a bit of a struggle, and then over here she's cleaned it off and had a meal. Tomatoes out here as well. I need to tie these up today because it is going to be really windy. And look, we've got some lovely tomatoes, some lovely trusses forming on here as well. These are lots of different varieties of tomato. So yeah, and they're doing really well. So I'm going to make sure before I leave today, I'm going to tie all these in because we're expected some winds. And then, so that's, look at the size of this tomato. Let me show you. Look at that. It's actually starting to change colour now. But yeah, some lovely outdoor tomatoes in our outdoor bed. I do need to again give these tomatoes a bit of a tidy. They always seem to catch up. I've again harvested some more courgettes and marrows, so you've got loads of those. Carrots, fine. Cabbages are really good in there now, really putting on some size. I'm going to get in there today and give them a tidy. Beautiful, amazing gladioli bed. Let me show you this beautiful dahlia here called Arabian Nights, and look at how it perfectly matches with this stunning dahlia. It's got some amazing foliage, so look at that. And this dahlia puts on some height. It will look really good with this gladioli. I have been taking some of this gladioli home and using them as cut flowers as well, but they are beautiful and I love them on the plot as well. Look at this, look at that. When the flowers are spent, they just drop off, and that is amazing. Sweet peas are doing really well, still climbing and flowering away. Got loads to come yet. It's another sunflower here. It's another bed of lettuce, and look at this, look at this. It's bolted. So I need to get in there and tidy this up. But yeah, can't have, I mean, just having lettuce all the time. Here's our leeks in our leek and onion bed, doing really well. Look at the size of them already. Nice. Look at that. So leeks are doing really well, as are the onions. Look. So these are the onions that are from seed, and yeah, look, see, doing so much more better than the ones that we planted from sets. The ones I planted from sets, literally, we just had tiny onions and we had to use them all up really quickly because none of them were worth storing. These hopefully should be a different story and should take us through winter if we need to store some of these. But yeah, these onions are looking so good. Look at this courgette. This is a round courgette that I like to pick at this size. So these are now ready to harvest. So I'll be harvesting these today. And in here I have got some more spare onions as well, and they're doing fine. Some tomatoes here as well. Let me show you the tomatoes. And these are the money maker. And look at this, gardener's delight. They're like jewels. It's a cherry, and yeah, look at the truss on here, really lovely. Lots and lots of outdoor tomatoes on this one, lovely. I get the same every year with the gardener's delight. They are fantastic. Some more outdoor beetroot. So we've got golden beetroot in here and some red beetroot as well, which is Detroit. Again, they're doing fine. Might harvest some beetroot today from here. And then over here, look at that, look at all these weeds starting to form. Well, this is the sweet corn, and again, doing really well. So I'm really pleased with that. This is a bit of an experiment in this bed. and I don't know if it's going to work, but these are chili peppers, and yeah, they're spares. I've got loads in my greenhouse which are doing really well. They're cayenne peppers. These I grew from seed, and we did it in an unheated greenhouse over like what, in March I think it was, and yeah, so they're tiny, but they were just spares. We've got loads inside the greenhouse, so I just thought I'll just stick these in a bed outside and see what happens. I did that last year with my Scotch bonnet, and you'd be surprised, I had fruits on it and they ripened nicely outside. So if we get some warm weather like last year, it's wet at the moment, but if we do get some, you never know. Let's see what happens to these chili peppers outside. Chili peppers as well. Let's take some of these home. We'll take this one. Really curly one at the back. Just take that. Look at that. These are going to taste so nice. This melon is almost ready now. I can start to smell the fragrance. Just keeping an eye on it. It should be ripe really soon. And here are our watermelons coming along as well. That's amazing. This is our largest watermelon. Brilliant. Those of you that know me know how obsessed I am with wildlife. If I'm not stumbling around my allotment site trying to capture footage of wildlife, you'll actually probably find me doing some gardening on my allotment plot. Yeah, recently, about a few weeks ago, I sent a video in to BBC Gardeners World talking about my allotment plot, what I'm growing, but also about making it as wildlife friendly as possible. And I had a message back to say that they'll be featuring that short clip on BBC Gardeners World this Friday, so the 18th episode of Gardeners World. So 8 o'clock on BBC Two, 8 PM on BBC Two, you can catch Gardeners World. And whenever I need advice, I know I can turn to the YouTube community and the allotment community, and there are so many people out there that will share their extensive knowledge and help me out, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you, even all the subscribers that send such lovely comments regularly. I read all of them and I try and reply to all of them, and I just want to say a massive thank you to you all. So that's it for today. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next one, but from me for now, it's goodbye.